You are listening to Das Bundesliga Show here on the Lock Betting Podcast. You can follow the Lock Betting Twitter account. It's at LockBetting.com. That's at LockBetting.com. You can see the P&L for the previous month, which was the 113th month in a row of transparent track profit. I've decided just to cover 3 midweek Bundesliga games for the show because I do think this midweek card is going to be a little bit tricky. We start with, of course, Bayern Munich. They are at home to Werder Bremen tonight, where Bayern Munich are unbackable here as the 1-6 favourites. It's 8-1 on the draw and it's 16-1 here on Werder Bremen. We had a winning lock with Bayern Munich at the weekend. We took Bayern Munich half-time, full-time. We're going to take the same selection here. However, the line is a little bit more juiced. For this show, we have to take it at the price of 8-13, but I still think the data is valid and I would still take the 8-13 here for the selection. All of Bayern Munich's league wins this season saw them leading at half-time, and I think they can continue that trend here against the newly promoted Werder Bremen. Bremen trailed at the break in half of their league defeats this season, and this Bayern side have scored 4+ goals in 4 of their last 5 competitive home games. So you would think that one of them at least would come at the half, and that should be enough to give them the half-time lead and to go on and win this game. So half-time, full-time is what we go with again here for Bayern Munich. We'll ride the trend as it has cashed in every single Bayern Munich win so far this season. But we take it at the far more juiced price of 8-13 here for this one. Up next, we jump across to Wednesday and we look at this game here involving FC Cologne versus Bayer Leverkusen, where Leverkusen are the 13-10 away favourites. It's 11-4 on the draw and it's 2-1 here on Cologne. Covering this game because I do think it's possible that Bayer Leverkusen have turned a corner. That was a really, really strong result at the weekend, beating Union Berlin, actually destroying them. And I think they can ride that 5-0 victory to back-to-back wins here against a Cologne team who failed to win 7 of their last 9 competitive games. Cologne are suffering somewhat of an injury crisis as well, with 9 players either injured or doubtful here for this game. So we will take Bayer Leverkusen en route to that victory. I do think Cologne will be able to score a goal. So you can pad out this selection with Bayern, Leverkusen and both teams to score and get it at the price of 7-2. Bayer Leverkusen have scored 9 goals across their last 5 games, and they should have enough here to win this game against the local rivals. But Cologne, because it is a local rivalry, will put up some resistance after going unbeaten in 5 of their last 6 at home, and I do think they'll be able to find a goal here. But ultimately, I do think Leverkusen will be too strong. A safer way to play this would be to take Leverkusen as a pick, because ultimately I don't think they will lose this game, but obviously there's a lot more juice here taking the selection like that. There are other plays here across the card that I do like. I do lean towards Borussia Mönchengladbach being able to find a win at Bochum, who did have a little bit of resistance when they got the home win against Union Berlin, but they have reverted back to just losing games convincingly. And I do like goals in a game between Eintracht Frankfurt and Hoffenheim, but they are small leans. I've decided not to cover those games here on the show. The game that I've decided to go with is RB Leipzig at home to Freiburg, where RB Leipzig are the 4-5 favourites. It's 3-1 on the draw, and Freiburg are the 7-2 dogs. Freiburg, of course, having an absolutely fantastic season. Otherwise, they would not be second in the table going into this game. RB Leipzig are sitting in 6th spot, and they have won 6 games so far this season. But I still think they are worthy favourites to win this game because you cannot ignore their home record. That is where they've picked up a vast majority of their points. Their last home game saw them beat Bayer Leverkusen. That was a lock here on the show. They've beaten Real Madrid in the Champions League. Prior to that, they beat Hamburg 4-0 in the Pokal. They beat Hertha Berlin 3-2 at home. They beat Celtic 3-1 at home. They beat Bochum 4-0 at home. They beat Borussia Dortmund 3-0 at home, which was the first game under Marco Rose. So this is a team who are very, very strong at home, and that's why I think they'll be able to get the win here against high-flying Freiburg. Ultimately, I think unanimously, when we ask people for their opinions about the Bundesliga, not many would have Freiburg ultimately finishing in the top 4 or challenging for the title. So there is going to be a drop-off against this team. You are looking for some regression, and I think this is a regression spot. So we take RB Leipzig here on the money line to get the win at the price of 4-5 minus 125. Closing out with your lock on the show, I'm hesitant to take this lock, but it's largely down to time sensitivity, nothing to do with the juice. I'm comfortable with the juice. So we're going to go for the same play that we took on the last podcast. We're going to take Bayern Munich half-time, full-time. I don't think Werder Bremen can hang with Bayern Munich for any 45-minute period with the way Bayern are playing at the moment. They've just been drawn against Paris Saint-Germain, so these players will be motivated. I think they'll come out and make a statement, and ultimately I think they will win both halves. So if you think this is too juiced for you, then obviously you can play them to win both halves of the game at a better price. But I like Bayern Munich half-time, full-time at 8-13. It's a play that cashed for us last time. It's a play that has cashed in every single Bayern Munich win so far. So I'm going to ride the trend. It's something I'm looking to ride out until the World Cup, where Bayern Munich will have a lot of players involved. But until then, your lock on the show is going to be Bayern Munich half-time, full-time, once again at the price of 8-13. That's it for this very quick edition of the Bundesliga Show. Good luck with all your bets as always, and thanks for listening.